Hi, my name's Joshua Ropati-Karini. I'm from Christchurch, New Zealand.
My name's Erin and I'm from Christchurch, New Zealand.
I'm Jasmine and I was born in Christchurch but I grew up in New York.
I'm AR from the Philippines.
Well, my name is Nicolas Valenzuela. I am from Chile.
My name is Xu Jing. I come from China.
My name is Michio. I'm from Japan.
My name is Krishna Chaitanya and I am from India.
I'm Mutia. I came from Indonesia.
My name is Ayano Yahara. I'm from Japan.
Hi, I'm John Oliver Karshega. I'm from the Philippines.
My name is Verena Pedro and I'm from Tokelau.
My name is Laura Valentine Brody. I'm from Melbourne, Australia.
My name is Paul Kalepokefu and I'm from Tonga.
I'm Min Zhang, I'm from Shanghai, China.
My name is Tal Fitzpatrick and I live in Queensland, in Australia.
My name is Qasim Hassan and I'm from Pakistan.
I'm Sulakshana Senanaika, I'm 21 years old and I'm from Colombo, Sri Lanka.
The ultimate measure of man is not where he stands in moments of comfort, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. This is the chance for youth to stand up. We've been given this opportunity, and that's all we need, is that chance to make a difference.
For the past 2 years, I work in the country of Myanmar, where in 2008 they were hit by Cyclone Nargis, and some say that it's the 8th worst natural disaster in the world.
In 2002, July 2, there was a typhoon that struck Chuuk and caused a lot of landslide, and I was one of the victims who survived.
A natural disaster back at home is a cyclone, tropical cyclone, which brought down some of our houses, some of our livelihood as agriculture production.
The disaster that I experienced was the Victorian 2010 bushfires. I lost a couple of my friends that I studied with.
I was a victim of the massive earthquake in West Sumatra, and also it was happened in 2009, and then I lost my friend and my professor.
I was in the Christchurch earthquakes, September, February and June, and they've all impacted my life. by making me really think about how other people feel. Like before I was just all about myself, didn't really help anyone else, and it's really inspired me to do other things for my community, not just myself.
The bamboo tree sways in the wind, along with the wind, but it doesn't even break. We should be like bamboos. We should cope with the disaster and our traumatic experiences, and then we should not be broken, or we should not give up.
The UNESCO Youth Forum on looking beyond disaster, and right now delegates are trying to brainstorm on issues that has to do with disaster and youth volunteering.
Okay, so this activity here is challenging people to think deeply about the different change that happens post-disaster, and to look at those changes specifically in a sector of society or the environment or as part of the economy.
It's almost been a year and a half since March 11th, 2011, and as a Sendai and Miyagi native, it's so inspiring, and I'm so excited and so happy to see this many youth coming together from all over the world, and some of them are actually from disaster-stricken areas such as Christchurch, New Zealand, Thailand, you know, the flood, and Sumatra, Indonesia, from all over the world coming together, and they're now discussing what they can actually do in their community, coming up with action plans. And they're so passionate, they're so capable, putting so much effort into their work, and you know, this is so inspiring.
Hi, my name is Ina, and we're here at the Parish of Pacific Youth Looking Beyond Disasters Forum here in Auckland, New Zealand. And just behind me, participants are in a workshop with 350 Aotearoa about climate change and the realities that we're faced with, all the challenges in the Pacific coming from small island states, and how we'd like to deliver a message for the rest of the world to realize the challenges that we're faced with is real, and we appeal to the leaders or anyone to take action, because although we don't really contribute to fossil emissions and things like that, we're always the first people to feel the effects of that. So we're hoping that the young people here today will be able to deliver that message in their own creative way.
We are all split into groups, so we're trying to really get to know each other from different parts of the world. So we have a wall full of different types of different colors with different changes and opportunities to sort solutions. This, I think, is such a collectivity.
So yeah, I think it's really great to be here, because I would like to imply those things that I got from here in my own country.
I found this forum to be amazing. It's been so good to connect with so many young people from around the world. I've really felt the energy and the vibe, and everyone's been so helpful and so loving to each other, and I really feel that we've started something really special here.
this forum has been mind-blowing. It has opened my mind. It's taught me a lot. It's taught me that within the human spirit there is a lot of resilience, so it's just as long as we work together, and we would definitely find that positive hope that we all are looking for.
We've had so many young energetic people from all over the world come together to share their experiences of the disasters they've been through, and I've really enjoyed just listening to everyone's stories. They've been so inspiring and powerful, each and every one of them, and I've enjoyed making networks and connections through that, and I've really enjoyed the whole action plan process and the presentation of that. It's going to be really exciting to see how those turn out, and to see how the group of us just change the world in our own little way, and yeah, I think it's just been an incredible experience.
What was most magical about those action plans is that the wealth of diversity and experience and culture coming together. We can quite easily coast along in our own communities and within our own society thinking that this is what we need to do, but having total disregard for what some other culture or organisation or community is living through and what they really need. Those action plans force people to work together. They force multiculturalism and everything, so that people really were united.
My action plan, well, my team's action plan was using art trauma therapy to help people in the community deal with, the feelings that they express and the trauma that they express from a natural disaster. I think that we have a shared humanity, and I want to see a response to disasters and attention given to each of them equally, regardless of where it's happening.
I'm helping the people that get impacted by the earthquake in West Sumatra. Actually, West Sumatra is my village as well. So I collect the data of the people who die and the people who survive in that area. So I try to help the local government on that city.
I actually take action for entertain the kids. They are so trauma after the disaster occurred.
You don't need to volunteer in other countries. Start in your own community, engage your community, and to be better prepared for future disasters, and not just for disasters, even for other advocacies.
The youth should not really wait for any disaster to happen to take action. I think we should just take our own step towards help the community in any way that we can. Yeah.
So I've really become aware of how important it is that all communities think about how natural disasters are going to affect them, so that they can be as best prepared as they can. And I think we have a responsibility as individuals, as communities and as societies to be ready.
We feel like helping is just what you have to do. There's no other option. I mean, our communities, they need us in that moment. It's absolutely natural to take that position, and to understand that everything that happens, like a nation, like a country, like a district, like a city, like a neighborhood, like a street, finally it depends on you, but not in you alone, in you and other people together, and that's a community.
How important is it for young people to connect globally? It's really important. Our communities can often be little bubbles, and so when we expand those bubbles and broaden our horizons in our knowledge, in our networks, inevitably we're going to learn things from other cultures, and that's going to make us more resilient.
For all the people who want to get involved, please brothers, please sisters, please do understand there are so many people who are disadvantaged, who really want our services, who really want something. So one single hand, one small candle can light other candles. So that is the same way. So do help others. So if you help one person, he in turn can help one person. This is how the change starts, and this is how the change will begin.
I learned that pretty much nothing is impossible, and that the youth has a great energy within them, and they can really make a difference.
The things I learned about this, that no matter what color you are, no matter what size you are, no matter what hairstyle you are, we can unite together, and we will never be alone because we're fighting together.
If you had the chance to send other young people in your communities and around the world a message, what would it be?
I would tell them not to be shy, including myself, sing your heart out, dance your heart out.
I'll be telling them, don't be afraid to ask any questions, you know, because if you don't ask, again, you won't know, because it's that social thing. So you have to be outspoken, you have to make friends and talk to people, say, hey, you know, how are you? So I think I'd say, ask questions, you know, ask about your culture, ask about what's happening on the island, ask about what has happened in the past, your history, not just with values and beliefs, but with the island itself and what's happening to it.
For people, young people like me, for those that we've been silent for too long, for those that we've been waiting for action, let's not wait for people to tell us to move. Let's not wait on our government to help us move. Let's do it ourselves. Ever since I've come into the Youth Council, I've learned that we start the momentum. I mean, to get stuffs rolling, we have to be the ones to move it. So that's basically, I mean, no matter what, we're gonna face a lot of challenges, especially more from our communities, a lot of discouragement, but take that into constructive use. Let it be what encourages you and inspire you more to do more. For the elders in my community, I do not mean any disrespect. I go by the traditions and the culture that I've been taught. I grew up in it, and I take to heart it's part of me. And I think it's about time we work together, rather than you telling us that we wait for our time to come. I think it's about time we work together. This is our time. Yeah. I think that's what my message would be.
One of my favourite parts of the forum was when Tal from Volunteering Queensland facilitated a workshop where she got us to think about what we would say to our government and official leaders if we had the opportunity to speak to them directly. And it was really exciting to hear what everyone had to say.
During this forum, I tried to get a lot of information from the people. I want to be a pipe work between the Sendai local people and foreigners.
What I want world leaders to keep in mind is that communities give importance to their cultures, beliefs, and value systems in responding and coping with disasters, and I want them to be very sensitive about that. The youth, they must be given tasks, simple community tasks such as cleaning the streets, sorting garbage, to make them feel that they are involved and very important in community processes. And from there, they'll realize that they can participate in bigger things such as preventing their community from falling down when a disaster strikes.
I would propose them to listen to people in the community more, because most of the time disasters happen in a very localized areas, and there is no way that the government would know the problems or the impacts of the disaster better than the people who live there themselves.
If I could get the government to do one thing to create a more resilient community, I would want them to fund and support more diverse business and agricultural models, so that if one sector fails in a disaster, there are other sectors that we can rely on.
The message here is that small is beautiful and small is strong. So I think it's time that we have to really think about the system, how much growth do we need and how much it will come at the expense of our life.
I believe there should be guidelines for the media that will help the community rebuild in the disaster, so they don't just show footage of the negative aspects of the community, they also show the positive aspects, so that the tourist industry isn't damaged and the community is able to rebuild.
To be transparent for the disaster risk in every area, so every citizen can know the risk in their neighborhood area and have a capacity building for them in adapting the disaster.
So basically I want to allow everyone to have at least a basic idea on first aid, CPR, checking the pulse, all of those, to ensure everyone has the ability to check for each other's safety.
In the Tohoku area from Fukushima to Sendai, there are many people who couldn't escape. So as a Japanese, I do think it's our responsibility to help the community in Tohoku region.
So one thing that could help the youth to become more involved in the community is to fund more projects that are specifically led by the youth, because in South Korea there is a notion that students should only study in school rather than getting involved. So having these programs could really be a great motivation.
Entertainment, so they have a purpose to go to such meetings, and then topics that are actually affecting the youth directly and they are open to actually talk about. Having mainly youth meetings with one representative from the rest of the community to build trust, and just a youth environment would be great so that they feel comfortable.
I think it's important that young people get involved in issues of disaster management and generally about the environment itself. It's the youth who are going to leave this world. In fact, it's important for the youth to be active right now because this is our home. And this is also going to be the home of not only ourselves but also of our children and of our grandchildren.
And it really inspires hope in me, and I hope I could share this energy and thoughts and ideas and everything in my own community. I hope something like this would happen again, and I'm just so happy and proud of them. So.
Okay, so Laura has just presented our draft recommendation of what we're telling the world that the youth can do and what we think that they should be doing to support us in doing that. So at the moment the groups are just discussing that now. They're just getting some feedback from each other and really kind of fleshing out the details on how they feel about this, the things that they really like about it, what they find is really strong, as well as the things that they think need to be tweaked or the things that they think are way off. So the way it's currently working, there's a member of the committee that's drafted this in each group, and there's a peer facilitator in each group just to make sure that things are sparking along. So it's been really exciting to see the buzz that's happening and just the way that different people are responding in different ways, and even the cultural differences between the wording and the way that the wording is interpreted in different ways, but also just quite impressive that the drafting committee thought of that and they've already been working around that. So this is a really exciting part of the forum.